Yabba-dabba-doo!
Krypton. No.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry, I was a little excited. And welcome to episode 24 of The Treat Show. So, how's everybody doing tonight? Happy Sunday. I think that I'm running a little bit discombobulated as always. I spent the day with the family. It has been a pretty hectic month. We just harvested a couple days ago, and I'm pretty excited about that, but it has been acquiring all of the time. and yeah, trying to clone. Like there's so many libraries right now that I've been treating and taking care of that I feel like it's nice to have all these strains, but at the same time, I am definitely feeling like it is a lot to keep rolling all the time. So anyways, does anybody else, how's your weeks going? Is is it harvest time for you right now? Is it coming up? I don't know. Let's see. So, we're going to just chill tonight. Is I'm actually really excited is OG Tyler. He's going to be coming back. Oh, thank you. Is he's going to be coming back yeah, he's just enjoying a couple weekends off for the summer and 710 celebrations. So, we should see him next Sunday. And I miss him. I think it'll be really nice. Same with this upcoming, I guess we have a lot of guests actually scheduled out now, and everybody that we wanted to come on is going to be coming on, so that is fantastic. And I think we're booked out all the way into September. So I think that we are rolling. Um, Let me see. I need Hetty. It's so nice to see you as always. Who else is in the chat tonight? Hold on, let me grab my mouse. So I just want everybody to notice my hat tonight because this is a new addition that I just got today, and I'm so excited. Let's see, week 4-ish, so pretty chill at the moment. Yeah, week 4 is one of my favorite weeks actually. When you really start to see the buds like stacking and the trichomes at that point, you're really starting to see like the potential of the plant. I think it's probably one of my favorite weeks throughout flower. The downside to week 4, I think, is when you get a bug infestation and you can't, you can't really do anything, it seems like. It's sad. It's just sad. So I say that because recently I've been going through a situation. So I've been taking care of 4 grows, maybe 5, including mine, and I'm helping out a couple breeders by treating their plants and kind of restoring genetics that have ran into some of these problems with Fusarium or HLVD or anything that anybody really wants to hold on to. And then treating these rooms that have like multiple problems is like, it's really weird to me and interesting that over the last like 6 years, I've seen every garden have like multiple problems instead of a couple of things at once. Like, say for instance, like I would get a call about russet mites or aphids in the past, and you would come in and like maybe they'd have fungus gnats with their aphids, or maybe something like that, like more mild, I guess, maybe thrips or something like that. But now I've seen it where when I get these calls just over the last like 5 years, that everybody's got like multiple things that they're combating at the same time, like HLVD with aphids, with russet mites, with fungus gnats, with thrips. And so I think it's really hard because, sorry, I was just laughing at the chat. It's so good to see you all. But yeah, I think it gets difficult because you can't use these products together. And I think like sulfur especially is so sensitive to like products like neem or any of these like soybean oils that people use or just essential oils, I'd say as a whole. But yeah, I'm running into one of these problems on one of the flower rooms that, the perpetual thing in shared spaces is pretty difficult. But one of my rooms just had a problem that we were killing all the bugs outside and doing all these treatments and cleaning up the yard and like making sure that there's nothing contaminating from the outside, right? And while doing this, like we found some aphids and it was just kind of disappointing, but you're like, whatever, it's outside. So everybody like goes home, showers, like we do all the things. And then all of a sudden they start popping up in these flower rooms. And the rooms are young, so it's okay, but oh gosh, it's so frustrating. There's like nothing like summer to just the grow challenges that come this time of year, like whether it's the heat and your AC is going out or things like that, where everything will be rolling, like your plants look vigorous and healthy, everything's cruising, and then all of a sudden you'll get this bug that comes in like from the outside. Nobody's like really cross contaminating, but like I don't know. It's just been so annoying. Just ready for it to be fall. Anyways, I did notice that I had a couple more, like, I had such a strange week this last week, is there was a lot more people that were slamming, like, their haterade this week. And there were some comments that I think I'll read. I don't know. I think that they deleted them or something, so I don't know if you can see them. I'll keep them up. I don't know. I appreciate people's feedback, whether it's, like, good or not, it's weird, but at this point in my career, like, it's funny because I don't think people like really know the extent of my job or like my actual career. But I think that after it's been like over 150 grows of doing like home grows and commercial grows, and I guess commercially it's 150 plus, but then like home grows and all these other projects and like the privilege of people that you've gotten to work with, and like it's weird, but the scale of like differences is like, I think like back in the day is like the only thing that was important to me was to be like the best in the state and like to have like the most connoisseur product and sell it at the highest price point. And it's weird because I was able to get jobs where people would call me like when the market was low and they would be like, how are you getting like 2,200 a pound, or how are you getting whatever these like totals were at the time, and they wanted it. And so it's funny because I would get calls that weren't just like on pest and disease eradication. It would be like people that really wanted to take it to the next level and wanted to sell their product for a really high price point because the quality was there. And they really wanted to dial in their systems to, bring the most, I don't know, connoisseur quality product to the market as possible. And I think it's really cool because most of my jobs have consisted like around that. And it's weird to think about like somebody purchasing your like system, like, where you're coming in and you're remodeling and you're telling people how to do things to your preference, and I think at the time, like that's every grower's ultimate dream. Like it's weird, but I feel like to really see like the full potential out of a building that you could do and how you could construct things. And when you see the results come out really positive for these people, or like getting them out of debt, like say they have over $1 million in debt that they've acquired, and that could be like taxes, that could be all kinds of different things. And you're coming in and you're creating this like stability and sustainability for their payroll and for their quality and for people being able to actually implement this system successfully. And it's weird because I do the work myself. I've always typed everything like customary for the actual building and like person I'm working for, but I actually do like the spraying and the treatments and train the staff and like do all these things myself. So anyways, it's funny because I saw all these comments. Hold on. I gotta get a drink of champagne. Cheers to everyone. Sorry, it's actually a rosé. But I saw all these comments talking about how like somebody was like aware that I was a female in the game and like that I put it on blast so much, like being a lady in the industry and all this stuff. And I was thinking about it because it's like funny to me because obviously when I'm interviewing like certain ladies, like I'm going to ask those questions because it does come up in your career. And on the flip side, people are interested in it the other way. And so I don't know, is I never want to come off sexist, like honestly in those regards, and I don't want it to be displayed that way. But then I also look at like how much my career has been affected by being a female. And it's weird, but even like the recent things that happened with the Adam Dunn show, and like it's like such a delicate line, because I think I've tried playing like as nice as possible, but I think there's like a point where I'm like, this is insane that I feel like building your own company in a male dominated industry does come off a certain way, and it probably does leave a bad taste in your mouth. But I feel like in my mind is I'm like, the reason that that's relevant is because if you can dominate any market, or you can come in and shape any market, no matter what sex you are, but being the smaller percentage of success, like in that place, and then you actually can be the one teaching people how to sustain their businesses after, is like, I think that's something that is different. I don't think a lot of people can relate to that. I think, and it's not just me, I know a lot of people that personally are awesome at what they do, and like females that like do completely different jobs, like oil rig jobs, and some of those things that they just like slay, firefighters, and like, I don't know, it's just on the flip side, like I see where it doesn't matter if you are male or female. I really want to make that known, but I do think things that like interfere with your sex, like interfere with your job is what I mean, is when I think back on the people that are talking shit, is like they're people from the Adam Dunn show. And it's cool that like you supported me during that time, but then it's like weird when I see like situations like the new guest co-host, right? Is like, I won't say a name, but this person was gonna hire me probably last May. And we went through this whole process of them wanting me to promote their brand. And as a female, right, they were like, we're carrying love in our eyes, and you're going to be our female people representing this brand for the state of Colorado, which is weird because I've had Athena do that. I've had Lux do that. I've had other people say that specifically, like, it's good to see a female doing this. So it's strange because I think that when people get upset at me for this, is I'm not the one like dictating these conversations or like feeling that way. But then when you see how this person, like I said, was going to hire me, we go through all these months of work and like these ideas and interviewing processes, and like saying that he's like, I'm a really strong supporter of females out there. And like, my mom was a single mom, and I really respect this type of woman. And I'm like, that is awesome. So then down to, we move fast forward to around Thanksgiving of last year. And, you know, Dave is like the co-host on the show, which we've worked together for a long time, but like definitely didn't like me, I would say, to say the least. And so I walk into the room, and this person's coming on as a guest to the Adam Dunn show. And I had worked there for over a year at this point with everybody, and they said that we got each other's back and all these things. And this person comes there, and you can tell that Dave and him were talking shit about me. Like, it was super, super like awkward. So then we go through the show, all these rumors start, and then the next day I get this call, and they're like, you're just a drunken blah, 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 blah. And they're dropping the C word and the whore and all this stuff. And then we blow it off. That person like requests I get fired. So they're like, Jay needs to get fired from the show immediately. Like, we can't stand her, all this stuff. And it's funny because like, once again, like if people think that I haven't, like, I've let go of a lot of people firing wise. And a lot of people like in this state don't like me because I've either like let them go at a job or like taken a position that they felt more entitled to. I don't know. Like, there's so many layers. So I feel like, yeah, there is a lot of haters, and I can definitely handle some haters. But I think that, yeah, when people don't see like the whole perspective though, and the whole story, is it's weird when somebody comes on as a guest on your show and is like a dick to you, and then they say that this person needs to be fired, or I'm not working with you guys anymore. And so then we push through it, and then that person takes my role on the show. Like, and then people message me and they're like, gosh, you were so much better on the Adam Dunn show and all this other shit. And like, it would be nice if you weren't sexist. But like, I technically got removed from that, from having a child email the person that I just got interviewed from, and then told that it's because of who I'm sleeping with or who I'm hanging out with or who. And it's just funny because I'm like, those are things that I don't think typical like average physicians go through. It's not me trying to be sexist or an a-hole. It's like I've tried like filtering and being so nice about these situations, but I'm like, there's so much shit that happens behind the scenes with everybody. I'm not just saying my situation, but with everybody, where maybe I don't carry myself like particularly well all the time. And maybe I stumble over some of these conversations because I'm just human too. And it's weird, but it's like, I don't want you guys to genuinely feel like I really do look at it as like a victim mentality or like a female in the industry. But I do want you guys to know that there's certain parts that I feel like it's fucked up when somebody can come back and say that you were just on this show as being a pretty face, and that it would be nice to hear about your knowledge, or it'd be nice to see like what you're educated in. And it's really funny to me because I'm like, I have literally competed against the best in the world as far as cultivating cannabis and gotten the position every time. And it's like, we could talk about those situations. We can talk about all those things, but I bet that would be annoying. I bet that would be annoying and piss you off. And so it's kind of weird because I feel like if you already aren't a fan of me and you already don't like me, don't come into my show and start talking shit about whatever. Because I feel like you already have that haterade before we've even spoke. It's just like the person that was falsely going to hire me. It's like, you want to hire me for my ideas, but then you want to take my position and this is the most creative way that you could come up with it. That shit is pathetic. And like, I think, no, I don't think no. I don't think that's the group. No. So it's not the group for me. And I think the same with everybody else in life. It's like, I feel like if people are already looking at you, like picking you apart or talking shit on things, like they already don't like you and they're never going to like you. So please be my guest. Know the feeling is mutual. And I feel like it's just gonna be good. So I just wanted to get all that shit out of the way because it really irritated me for some reason. I was just like, dude, you guys can't keep messaging me talking shit or posting on this shit that you just know nothing about. Like, if you want to grow some weed and you want to see some experience, then let's grow a room identically the same, and see who does better. And it's like, if that's what you think is better than a pretty face, it's like, whatever the fuck that means. Like, thanks for the backhanded compliment, I guess. Weird. Anyways, that's my rant. I'm gonna have to roll another blunt. So I was gonna have Chris Guerrero from the Guerrero Show on today. I was gonna send him the link and see if he would join me for a little bit because I want to talk about EC. I had some people hit me up about the last conversation. This is weird. This is the one I'm still making the PowerPoint, and I swear you're going to see it, but it's going to actually make sense on the fact that it's taken 2 weeks when you finally see it. But we can talk about it today. I had some questions, that were regarding like what it means when I'm saying like an EC of 1, and like when I'm talking about the base nutrients and the calcium nitrate and the monopotassium or magnesium, Epsom salt, is like I really want to touch on all those things, and I want to explain like when you are using an EC of 1.4, what that does mean, or when we're looking at runoff and things like that in the system, is like manipulating your EC in the plant by using runoff instead of changing your nutrients mix. And it's weird because I think that this is a unique style of growing. It's like, it's not common. And even when I was working with Athena and some of these other companies, is like, these are obviously salt-based companies that put a lot of research and development into their lines and are experimenting in these different ways. But I want to show you, or tell you, an example of what I mean, where this becomes like really useful and where it probably wouldn't. Is so in a commercial facility is like, they usually have multiple rooms, right? Like say they have 2 veg rooms and then 6 flower rooms. And they're running a system like that. Is technically, if you're using a dosing system or dosatron, is you would have to go through and you would have to purchase multiple dosatrons for all of these rooms. They would have to have, like, I'm using a 3-part mix technically. So you would have to have 3 dosatrons plus a pH, like if you'd be regulating your pH at all, which most people would. And if you're like adding anything like silica, excuse me, is you need to add 2 more dosatrons in this situation. So you're looking at like 5 or 6 dosatrons per room. And when you're looking at these systems, like they have water rooms for all this shit because it's like so much equipment, and the expense of it is like insane to me. Is like you're spending roughly $600, say, on the different styles of dosatrons that you can purchase to $1,400 and per unit. So even though this is like a one-time investment, it's pretty hefty. So the reason that my salt mix, this would be like a benefit to somebody commercially, is like same with if you, sorry, really quick, is if you're using like BioBiz or you're using some of these other companies that have 6 or more parts that you're adding, then you need, 6 or more dosatron on top of what we just talked about. So you can just start accumulating shit so fast. And so to eliminate that is I like to run a really simple system for a facility. So the reason that my EC is so important to me staying the same is because I can have 3 dosatrons, right? And if my stock tanks are mixed properly, they're already pH'd. So I don't need to have a pH like unit. I don't need to have a dosing unit for my pH down. And so that eliminates one right off the back. I do need one for H2O2. I do run H2O2. You have to have that separate. So say I have 4 there. I don't run silica. I use my monopotassium phosphate to kind of combat things that silica is good for. So if I have these things where say maybe 5 or 6, is I can run an entire facility off of 5 or 6 dosatrons by using the same salt mix and keeping the same EC of 1.4. So if I'm feeding my clones all the way to my flower rooms of this EC of 1.4, I can save a company a shit ton of money by eliminating all these dosings, like different systems. And so, and the beauty of salts is like your lines are staying clean. Some of these other things, like, and it, I don't know, we'll talk about that some other time, is like, there's some benefits to doing it this way though. But then I think that that's where like the importance of having that EC staying the same would be different than like at your house is, so if I take that and I make it where room 1 and like the first tray, if I put on a simple ball valve, right, is like I can make that tray in week 1 of flower actually have an EC that's higher than 1.4 by dialing back my irrigation time. So I like to feed as a rule of thumb, is I like to do 250 mils roughly at a time in 6-inch blocks in 9 by 9 pots. So like this can change obviously if you're starting to get like really large, but as a good baseline is 250 mils of water per feed if you're going to be feeding, like stacking feeds throughout the day. So say I do that 4 times in this week 1 where they eat 4 times that day at 250 mils each time is I'll go through, and if I see that plant or that group of plants like really taking off and I'm like, oh, they really need 1.6 now, is instead of changing my salt mix, is I'll go through and I'll take my time back of that 250 mils is roughly 2 minutes on a Netafim like standard system. I'm saying there's variations obviously by your drip emitter times, but standard simple is 2 minutes roughly. And so I think if you go back and you take it back to a minute and you cut them down to it'd be 4 minutes total if you're just doing a minute out of those 4 feeds, out of the 2-minute feeds. Sorry if I'm explaining this so bad. So your EC would start stacking over the next 2 or 3 feedings. Is it like, it's not going to happen immediately, but that dry back and having that less moisture content in there is going to actually start accumulating the salts to build up on the sides of your rock wool or your pots or anything like that. So it's weird, but you can do it like that, where if it makes it easier for your situation, instead of mixing multiple different reservoirs. And then you can do the other side is like, if you're trying to flush a tray, or I noticed somebody had a good comment regarding flushing. We will talk about that soon. I thought it was awesome that you brought up that you don't believe in flushing and things like that. But if you're quote unquote flushing out a plant at the end, is you can shut off that ball valve, or you can open the ball valve for all the times that your room is feeding, and you can actually have it have the most runoff. Is you can extend your time on that table particularly, and your EC will drop from 1.4. You'll still have feed, obviously, if you're feeding it feed, but you can get them pretty low. I would say if you started with a 1.4 in like 4 or 5 days of feeding, with say 20% runoff each time, say you're going to 500 mils every time that you're feeding and you are extending that time, say 2 minutes instead of cutting back a minute, then you're going to start to dilute the EC in your plant down as well. So I think I don't know, it's interesting to me because there is times that this is like good to do. There's other times that like, is it really necessary if you have 2 rooms at your house that like, you have your veg space and your flower space, is like you can mix a res really easily that has an EC of 1.7, for your flower or for this particular area. And for your veg. But I feel like commercially it really does get challenging. So I think when I was talking about that, it's like it's probably more appropriate to do it that way in a space, but I do it at my home grow. It's like I definitely still manipulate it the same way. And it's because I believe in what I'm feeding my plant as well. It's like less is more. We talked about that before, in my opinion, but I also think that when you're watching these plants, like sometimes I will have like one that starts like taking off, like where she's just getting big, and say it's one strain in the room, is like that's where I'm like, yeah, I do want to bump her up to like a 1.7 or a 1.8. And yeah, I think it's a cool thing to play with. If you guys haven't tried it, it's a like Blue Lab makes this pH probe. It's actually really cool, but it's not because they shit out after like a year or two. So annoying. But they make this little probe that actually goes into the medium. And I just like it for this particularly, is if you're growing with rock wool, you can do it with soil though. It's awesome. Is you take this little thing, it looks like a pencil, and yeah, you can stick it into the medium and you can see your actual EC just directly. So it's weird, but you can do it on certain parts of the plant, or you can do it on your runoff on the tray, whatever you're into. But I think that more people should try doing it. Let's see. Let me see if Chris is in here. Oh gosh. It's all right, Mr. Guerrero. He's in California. Well, you guys are so awesome. I'm sorry, I'm just checking these out. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so this one, attention meter. So you can do that as well, like actually measuring back your dry back. And I know that like, what is it called? I'm so sorry I do this. Trollex, Master Trollex. I'll remember what it's particularly. It's a unit that I don't know. I'll pull it up right now. But it's a unit that you can actually put these little sensors in, and it reads your dry back exactly, and it reads your EC throughout everything, and it shows like anything that you want to manipulate, it'll give you the results. And it's pretty inexpensive of a system. Trollmaster, thank you. Jeez. Is like the Trollmaster, I like their stuff, but again, like at a home grow, even commercially, it's kind of a weird cusp. Is they like get too expensive commercially because you still need one per room, and they have 2 different style. Like one is for smaller amounts of plants, and then one is for larger. But they still range at like $2,000 if you're like really completing the whole sets and you're buying all the sensors. And I don't know, to use these Trollmaster systems, like I think where the market's at right now is like, unless you were doing your own research, and really trying to, I guess, like you ran into a problem, maybe with HLVD, maybe with Fusarium, this would be good at like detecting that, because you would actually see when your plant is like not uptaking and exactly how much they're like, no, thank you. And it would give you those exact readings. But I think the best rule of thumb though is it's really hard not to like want all this stuff. There's definitely like things that we could take it all, right, and like enjoy it. But I feel like there's like this part that I think there's this misconception is like, I think that spending time with your plant and actually looking at your plant and being as involved with the plant as you can possibly be as far as paying attention. Like, I believe differently as far as irrigation. People think like takes you away from your plant. I think irrigation gives you an opportunity to spend more time with your plant, defoliating and like really like getting in there. And I think in IPM, like, even if you're not a person that like treats with pesticides or anything like that, is like, I still think like when you go in to spray with like a foliar feed, or you're doing cinnamon on the top of your plants or something, is like, you're still getting in there and you're still like able to see exactly what's going on all the time. And I don't think any grower will ever be better than that. Is like, like sticking to that path instead of like relying on equipment. I definitely have worked at these state-of-the-art facilities that are beautiful and they have all the good stuff. They got all the good. And I've worked with a lot of these companies directly, and it's like they definitely beautiful, but it's like honestly for everybody's budget normally and like a home grow, like no, I would not be putting that kind of money into my garage or something. I don't know. I would want to, but it's like maybe when packs are going for like $6,000 again. Oh, what's everybody else smoking? I think Trollmaster, and there's another one I've seen called GrowLink. Yeah, you are right, Loud Pack. Thank you. Is I'm sorry I struggled with that so much. Is I feel like yeah, it's a pretty cool system. It is, but I haven't tried the GrowLink. If you guys have actually tried it, you let me know. Oh, that's so nice, Loud Pack. I appreciate your kindness. I truly, truly do. I feel like that's the thing is like when I see the people that do support me, I just want you guys to know that I support you all the way too. And it really does mean so much to me. And I think that those are like the people I want to build with. Is like I want us to like get to know each other so much to the point that I don't know. That's what the community is about deep down to me. Is like it's gotten so sloppy with like hate and problems and groups not liking other groups, so you can't hang out with these people. It's like so cliquey that I think that it would be nice to get away from that and just, all just enjoy each other. And if you don't, you're just in the wrong room, This is weird. Spoken on my UK cheese, freak show cross. Shit loves a long ass cure. Cut in November. Oh, wow. See, if you cut that in November and you're just really getting out to smoke, that is quality. That is a quality grower that there needs to be more people like you. It's amazing to see somebody take that kind of time. And then when you actually do go to smoke that weed and you like open it in the jar and you just like get goosebumps almost, just taste and smells so good. You can like smell it in your taste buds already. I know you know. I feel like the freak show, what do you think about that freak show, actually? Is I do remember when that guy came on, and I feel like he was showing us the freak show, and I couldn't believe, like, how the leaf structure was. Is like, I don't know. It was more that, it wasn't the variegation in it. It was more like it reminded me of the shark. I brought this up before, and I'm just spacing. This is what happens when I get high. Shark's breath. Jeez, shark's breath. And it was because it, like, grew like the mouth of a shark. It had these, like, sativa-looking leaves. The freak show kind of reminded me of that. Is that what you've seen? What up, Uncut? It's good to see. It's good to see. Oh, TK and Headband by Skunk Tech. Jeez, that sounds fire. Oh. Michelle, it's so good to see you out there. Everybody go follow Michelle too. She's another lady that's just crushing. Test Nugs. Oh. Puffing on some Cap Junkie. That sounds nice. Capulator was so nice. I wanted to shout him out because sorry. He sent me a clone last week, and I want to say that the clone looks so healthy and so happy as far as it was in rock wool and just clean and vigorous. And Capulator, he makes an awesome root pack. It's like, you obviously have to follow it exactly as the label reads. But I feel like if you guys have any questions about it, let me know. Because that for aphids and like fungus gnats, thrips, like it really, his root drench, it does wonders. I feel like, and it's all organic. It's nice to see. Has anybody else been having bug problems, though? It's like, even outside of my house, there's just bugs everywhere. Crickets, grasshoppers. Where else do you stream, Ryan? Gosh, I am trying to step my game up. I have all these platforms, and honestly, lately, I have been slacking. Like, not even slacking, is these gardens got me strapped. Like, I am not just saying that. It's like, 5 doesn't seem like a lot, even if they're small. Versus some are big and some are smaller, but like I will tell you, when you're dealing with like 60 strains or more per facility, and then like we're testing all these and I'm preparing the test samples and like submitting them for testing, I will tell you it takes so much to just keep it flowing. Like the rooms are harvesting. Everybody knows this problem. Like when you're trying to do 40 things at the same time. So, anyways, that is why I've been slacking on my streaming. Is these gardens are kicking my ass this month. But I feel like I will get as soon as this harvest and all this stuff is all finished up, I will post them on the next show. And yeah, I will put the goods because I would love to start building those platforms. It's like, you guys tell me what you think, but Twitch and some of this other stuff seems to be a lot easier for cannabis people. It's like, it's kind of hard on YouTube. What do you guys think? It's hard to even get my videos out there from not being shadow banned. Hold on one second. I'm going to grab a grinder. Okay, I can't find it. I can't find it. So I'm just gonna roll this. This is from 710 Labs though. Anybody that's in Colorado, I guess they're like in Michigan and Florida now. I don't know. So I guess anywhere. I don't know if the weed looks the same, but let me try to find so you can see this. So this one's called Grease Bucket. I was really impressed though with how it came out. Like, I don't know if you can actually see it. Sorry, I should have put you on the Zoom. But this one, I thought it was really it's GMO crossed with Banana Punch number 9 is what it's labeled as. And I will say it is super sticky. Super sticky. Thanks Loud Pack. It's like, I feel like everybody though that is a real like grower and gardener, like, and it's not just weed plants. It's like, I've noticed that people are like into this stuff. Like, you know, it kind of like consumes your whole life. It's like, it's funny to think about, like how we plan like vacations or lack thereof vacations and like some of these things all around, I don't know, all around this stuff. And so, yeah, I wanted to see, sorry, I closed this. Let me double check. It's like, I wanted to talk about the nitrogen and nitrates because I know that was a question in the chat. But I think, please don't hate me, I think we should talk about it next week because there's just so much information. Like, that I think is like important that we kind of touch on all of it. And then we'll be sitting here for like another hour and you guys are gonna be like, no. Anyways, do you guys, let me see. Pretty flower from California. Smoking. Oh, I feel like California too, it seems like their market, I'm not really sure, but it seems as though their market has been kind of facing the same stuff as Colorado is. Compared to New York. New York seems like it's bumping right now, and California and Colorado seem like they are hurting as far as the price per pound. Like whether that's wholesale or the other side is like, it seems like people have really high expectations now, which I think is awesome to some degree, but then it also seems like they're not willing to like really pay to like sustain the grower or like breeders. I don't know. But then you guys are out there, and that's what's so cool is when I do see the same people like on Dark Horse's channel or see like First Smoke of the Day or the Future Cannabis Project or all of the podcasts. It's like when I see these amazing people and growers that you guys are like the ones making it actually possible though. It's like it really is phenomenal to be able to talk about weed with you guys and like nerd out like this. It's like the parts that people don't realize is like, I don't know, there isn't like a lot of friends that I have that like would talk like this, like you guys, or like listen to this. It's like, it's just really nice to have a group that is just as passionate and just as into it. Yeah. It's the right room. Right, guys, we are in the right room. Like Mean Girls on steroids. Yes. Doing an open pollination. Oh, this is Noof Ellie. Doing an open pollination on the line this year to see if I can lock down the early flower. The freak show unlocked early. Flowering by 3 weeks on the UK cheese outdoor the second season. That is beautiful. Are you doing outdoor the second time to see if you can get more pheno hunting out there, or like that you do have your keepers and you think, I don't know, you just want more variety? I think that sounds beautiful though. I want to see it. Send us pictures and I'll post them up. Yeah. If anybody wants to send pictures, you just slide into my DMs on Instagram. Treat. No, sorry. Lo. I don't even know my name. Jaybird_JLo. Sorry. And you just slide in there, or you can email me at treeconsulting@gmail.com and send me some pictures that we can post up. I've been working on these little backdrops of everybody's seed drops. I'm going to do a seed drop of the month, and I want to put all of our favorite breeders on there. And I have been talking to a lot of these breeders, and I feel like it's going to be awesome. It's like Tiki, Miss Jill, like those people definitely are going to be on it. Cali Connection, all these guys. And I think it'll be cool if we can stay following and adding to like whatever you guys think is like hot. But I want pictures of it all. Yeah, it really does sound so yummy. You're right, Michelle. Noof, you gotta. Let's see. Big farm. Got this Goji Margie. She's a keeper. That sounds nice. What do you guys think about the Goji? Like, I've been seeing Goji like crosses everywhere recently. But I don't know. I haven't grown it. Like, I think maybe years ago I would have, like, maybe Harmony Extracts I think might have had it, but like I really can't place it. Can't place it. Apple fritter. I do love the apple fritter. Lumpy cut has been an early flowering one. It's a good yielder for you. That's awesome. Do you guys think that that's important? Like, it's weird because I go both ways. Do you think it's important that a strain like yields for you? Or does it have to have all the greatest features? You know what I mean? Like, does it have to like pull the yield plus the appearance, the aesthetics, or do you like not really care? Like, you're just like, I know fireweed and I'm just going to use like Larry OG because Larry OG is one of my favorites, but does not like grow like the sexiest. Doesn't always, I don't know. It doesn't dump. It can, but it just doesn't, I think, for the most part. So I don't know. Sour Diesel is the same way. It's like I've seen Sour Diesel, the old school, like probably, yeah, AJ, like these cuts, like where they'll really do well, but they don't like after they're like finished and cured. Like, it's amazing to me how small they really can yield, like in comparison to some other things. Right now, because I need to do numbers. Yeah, that's what's weird too. Is I feel like commercially, a lot of people do like hate to hear that people have to like pull these numbers, but it's truly like because they can't afford their overhead without it. And so it's weird, but you can't have like, you know, a room of all your favorite strains because it seems like you get more stuck with like, oh, does it really pay the bills? And usually the stuff that we like the most is the hardest to like financially produce. Get ready for the sour projects. Yes. I'm so excited. There has been sour everywhere recently as well. And I don't mean everywhere like, I'm saying like all the best people are messing with the sour right now. I'm pretty excited. The aficionado, I talked to him a while back about possibly trading for his sour. And I'm curious. I don't know. I'm just curious to see if I've got like 2 different sours that I'm working with right now, and I want to see what the outcome of them are. I worked with a sour diesel cross, and recently with a group of my close friends that were doing this breed. It's their breeding project, but I got to see the phenos and finish out the plants with them, and it was like, I don't know. There was nothing that was like that real sour taste. It's funny, but there really wasn't. I don't know. We got, oh, sorry, Michelle, this is funny. Girl, I live in the South. We got buds everywhere. Yeah. What's the price points going? Like where you guys are at? You don't have to say. We can, not, but I'm just like curious because I just see so many people leaving the market. It's not even, I always say the industry, but it's like, no, it's like home grows plus all this shit. It's like, is it too expensive? Is it too expensive to grow anymore? Like, I don't know. Excel, man, I feel like they get all of our money. Excel seems to be like the winning person no matter what goes on. They get paid. I wish that we could all start like a power company together Get like Elon behind us. Just kidding. I know I'm going to regret that. Japanese beetles are going strong this year. Yes. Oh my goodness. Are you not kidding? It's like, so that's what I thought was in the grow at first, because it kind of looks like that. Like it's weird, but it's a certain type of aphid, but yeah. But we got beetles by the hot tub and like just anywhere that you can have a bug, like they are there, you know? It's not cool. I feel like honestly, since they like, I'm not even kidding. If I go outside, I get like bitten by anything. Like I'm the type of person that if we do go anywhere, just period, like I will get attacked by something. And I feel like it's because the bugs know or something. They're like, she killed our cousins. But then it's weird too, because if you guys saw me at my house, like I carry out bugs all the time. Like, it's like, excuse me, it's like weird, but sometimes I feel bad. Most times I feel bad, but I'll carry out like spiders or beetles that are huge. I've been seeing those like beetles that are massive. What do you guys think is best to kill this shit? Sorry, I knew I was gonna grab this lighter. Doesn't work. Because I think that like with beetles, I think that most things outside it's hard because people don't like to hear the word imidacloprid. But beetles and shit like that is like, it's hard if you have pets too. It's like you can't have the pets. But like the bees, there's just so many factors that go into all this stuff. It's like you can't, it's hard to spray like neem on something and treat something with a foliar because you do have your bees and all this other stuff. But then it's like, I don't know, let's just skip all that and stick with diatomaceous earth or cinnamon. Is I feel like cinnamon I've grown more fond of over diatomaceous earth when it comes to like killing most things. But then you don't have to worry about your dogs and whatever. So we'll just skip the bad. Let's see. Weedist, it's so good to see you too. Twitch and Kick. I need to see Kick. If you let everything live in year 3, oh, I see. If you let everything live and then let it get controlled by nature. You're right. Outside, it's definitely a thing. The only thing that I've really ran into that I couldn't win is like, and this is going to be surprising to you guys, is earwigs. It's like, so I bought these hydrangeas and like a whole bunch of daisies, right? I spent like hundreds of dollars on these plants. I was all excited. I was like, this is my treat. And I'm getting crazy. And so I'm like replanting my beds and doing all this stuff. And I noticed my flowers in like 3 days all took a shit, like almost like dead. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is devastating. And I'm like looking all over the plants, can't see anything, whatever. So like at night, usually if I can't see anything during the day, I'm like, okay, what's eating you at night? And I come out and there are just like thousands of these flipping things just all over everything. And like, it's weird because people think that they're more beneficial as like a predatory insect than they actually are. It's like if they get overpopulated, I found out, and if they get like stagnant, like there was parts of my neighbor's yard that had never been touched, and then these people moved in. It doesn't matter, but there was all of these insects that came over, and I guess when they reach numbers like that, is they'll start targeting all your new growth on your plants, like all the soft tissue on there, and they are just, ugh, I just hate them. But yeah, I feel like the diatomaceous earth did work on them. I always have bees and stuff in these beds, so I can't like get crazy. Wasp, I let the earwigs live nowadays. Oh yeah, wasp. You're right though. Wasp are another thing that it's like really sad how bad the wasp have gotten. And wasp, one time I got stung. It was in my grow. I like had them build a nest inside. This grow was like in a garage, and it wasn't sealed all the way. It wasn't, and so, or they got in through God knows what. But so they had built this nest in there, and I was like trying to get it down. And like, granted, I know that this stuff, not completely incompetent with this, but like I did it so like stupid. It was just like a moment that you're like, I'm gonna take this down, and you get on a ladder and you're like, I'm gonna do this, and you're like, I'll run really fast. I don't know what I was thinking, but basically I knocked down the nest, and there was like 9 of them that just like stung, like not I got stung 9 times by the same wasp, but it got stuck in my hair, and she just kept like stinging me, and I felt like I was getting tased or something. I was like, oh my God, this is like the meanest insect ever. And so they move their nest from inside my garage to the side of my stairs when I walk out of my house. And at first I was like, whatever, dude. Like, at least you're not in my garage. And I'm like walking past them like every day. And I have this dumb belief that I'm like, oh yeah, they'll get used to me. It'll be fine. like they don't care if I don't bother them. No. So I found out that wasp, as they grow and as colonize or whatever, it's like they'll actually get more aggressive and more territorial over a space. So they'll actually start defending a space when their numbers get larger. Like, I don't know. I think this does take years. Maybe not though. I've seen some a-hole wasp, but I don't know the best thing to kill wasp though. It's funny to me is like I've tried all these things and I've tried treating for them and it works. Like it does work if you use neem and but I'm saying as a real take them all out. No, I haven't. And then the bees, it just sucks that anything you're spraying really for the wasp, I feel like it's affecting the bees. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I saw that Twitch was actually, a couple of my friends were pretty affected by that. It's like Twitch is getting all strict, I heard, on cannabis. So strange. So strange. They're so open on everything else. It's interesting. But I guess it's just going to open another opportunity. Maybe that is what Kick is. I haven't used Kick yet. It's Discord I'm not really crazy about. I don't know why. It's probably because I'm not on top of it. Test nugs. I have some orange apricot crossed with Mac from Cap going. Cap hooks you up. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Cap does. It's funny because Cap was selling his stuff for so expensive. In 2017, 2018, as I was growing the Mac 1 and we were selling it for a high price point in Colorado, and it was so nice. It was so nice and it was so beautiful and people just loved it. And I think that he was selling his seeds for some of the most expensive, next to some of the bougie companies, you guys know, but it was super high price point, I feel like. And now it's just funny to see I don't know, it's this was the first year I didn't see Cap's booth completely where there was a line for the whole show and it was hard to go talk to him or something. Is usually I feel like Cap's booth has always been like that. And I was just thinking about this wave. Is it's weird, but Tiki Man and Canorado are so, and Bloom, yeah, Harry Palms. I can't believe they are so popular. And I feel just over the last couple years to see how far that they've come, as far as popularity and everybody. It's weird to me because everybody gets their moment to shine. It's weird, but I think it circulates throughout the system of it's just kind of interesting to me. It's not that anybody gets forgotten or isn't valued and appreciated anymore, but I feel they just kind of oh, it's this is your year and then next year it's Archive. I think, yeah, he's been consistent. He's one that's I think been everybody's favorites for a long time. Rare Dankness, there's some classics that I don't know. That's really cool. It's pretty cool. I do want to try that though. I think that sounds really nice. He had some of the flour at the secret stash, and it was super nice to see all of his new stuff came out really, really nice. Oh, Weedus, thank you so much. So much. You just made my decade. Thank you. I'm about to burn some Banana God OG. Banana, does it actually taste like banana? Because I'm smoking banana backwoods, and they taste like banana. I'm just saying, they taste like banana. You could taste the weed. When people think you can't taste the weed, you definitely taste the weed more than the blunt. But got a little banana peel in there. Feels like. Let's see. NJ commercial wholesale price is $3,200 a pound. Thank you for sending that to me. Seriously, $3,200 is good. What do you guys think on that? I think that is it worth it for you to grow weed at that point? Commercial or not? I feel if you're making money like that still off of a pound of weed, it's a pretty good deal, pretty good stitch. And I say this only because the price point of $1,000 a pound and all this other stuff is you really can't do it at that. I think it's not even trying to be greedy or the most expensive or whatever. It's I think people care a lot and they want to grow their weed or they want to take the time and do all this stuff and they want to trim it properly and cure it properly. But I think when they're competing with price points like that, they're I can't afford to pay to do this way. I think that's an awesome number too. That's beautiful actually to see. I wonder if you guys stay strong as a group, if you could get that to extend as long as possible. Is I think people are missing the mistake that Colorado made. Is there was a lot of people racing to the bottom. Is like when they made the first $100 ounce, and when companies started coming in so large of square footages that they were trying to dominate and control the market. Like they won't say that, but if you release 1,000 pounds a month on a market that these guys can only produce 5 to 10 pounds or 30 pounds out of their facilities a month, like you just dominate. This is not good. It's not good to, this is not going to put anybody in a good position. Proper cure doesn't exist in the Colorado industry. You're absolutely right. I get like pissed. It's like, there's been plenty of times and plenty of obstacles that I've had to work with in like curing product and things like that. And people will always have excuses commercially, but it really comes down to lack of time. It's like they're not willing, as the owners most of the time that I've seen. Some owners are not like this though. Do not take this as like everybody. Is like, but some of the shitty owners, like they'll go through and they'll be like, we have 5 days, like from the start of that room coming down to like the time that it gets packaged and put out on the floor. And it's like, that's just terrible. Like, it's just like terrible. That'd be like, you know, if we ate an apple or something that wasn't like ripe, or a banana, or I mean, whatever it is. It's just like, you can't be gross. But it sucks because it gives this whole image, and like this false image, I think, in perception that nobody cares then, or like the weed only is dry here. And it's like, that's not the case. It's like, you gotta like be seeking out that good, which I'm sure you are, and I'm sure you found, but it's like, it's definitely not going into a store right now. I've been like sad because I remember the days that it was just medical and going into stores and actually being impressed by the weed. Like, this is why I have these beliefs that our water is like contaminated with some of these diseases because of the effects that these plants and like the decline that they've taken. And I'm not saying like conspiracy towards cannabis. I'm saying like conspiracy probably towards like human health and like all these other bigger issues that I think the water going into our vegetables, the water going into us, and like reverse osmosis and the tall boy filters, all these things we used to use all the time in the industry. Like, it used to be just standard protocol, is like everybody believed reverse osmosis was the way to do it. And like everybody was growing with soil, and the Pro Mix and the Aurora 707 were like so popular, and I loved growing with them. Like both of those combined, like it was just beautiful. But when you see like the medical like quality like go that bad to I mean, wreck now, and now we barely even have medical participating, and like I feel like it can't there's some coincidences. Like, I've seen companies and worked with companies directly on testing everything in their facilities, like every nutrient that you could possibly think of, every pesticide that you could possibly think of, like all of these things, equipment, like where is this like high levels of whatever heavy metals coming from, or when we're looking at HLVD and fusarium and botrytis and like all these different things, is it's like, I think that it comes back to the water is testing so high for fusarium now, and now we got away from using all these filtration systems and didn't believe that it really made a difference, probably because the weed was so good, and probably because it was so resilient, and it was like doing awesome. But then it's like, I think that now I've just seen the quality all over the state go so bad. And honestly, a lot of these guys can't even finish their rooms out because the plants are dying before. And I don't know. It's just like, it's such a weird coincidence that I'm seeing. And it's in areas. It's not just like, I don't know. I couldn't prove and say it's like the whole state of Colorado and blah, blah, blah. But I mean, maybe it's like, I know in Denver and Boulder is like, there's really high levels of this stuff in the water. And it's not good for people. It's not good for plants. It's not good for anything. So I don't know. As I've been contemplating on getting my grow back to reverse osmosis, and I think I'm going to, or even just like, I don't know, going back to the tall boy or something. Is like, I think it's something that we should look into as a unit. Is like, if there's areas or like places that we can test together, is I'm working with a lab again. If you guys have any ideas or like things that you really think could be affecting some of these diseases and battles that you're all having in your gardens, like, sorry, I keep saying like, if you guys feel like you are seeing something that you cannot make sense of. Like you've been growing weed for all this time and you've never seen this as a problem, and then all of a sudden it's just a problem all the time. Is like whatever that may be, feel free to message me or text me on like, I mean, you can email me or slide into the DMs, and like we can really talk about it and see if it's not something that I know the answer to, then we can find the answer. But I feel pretty confident that we could start helping each other to, I think if everybody has less problems and we start having clean weed back on the market, I think that's when you'll see like weed curing good again. Like all the things that we're seeing problems with is I think would go away. If we could get the health of the plant back, is most of these things, not all, you're right. Most of these things the plant can take care of themselves. But it's like if they're sick, I don't know. You gotta fix it as a squad. Well, guys, I feel like I appreciate you so much for chilling with me tonight. It has been so nice. We got Liz in there. So Liz, I actually went to high school with, and she is a little dime. If you guys take a sneak peek at her page, Hair Obsession by Liz. Yeah, she also does obviously a phenomenal job at hair. Oh, thank you guys so much for watching. I want to see, hold on. I want to see if I'm missing anything in the chat before we close out for the night. I got some PB&J on deck. Yes. Okay, let's see this one. Rusty Nails Canna businesses planning on getting the price for illegal weed out of their license. Legal business are doomed to fail. Once it's legal, it's tobacco or products. Yeah, Rusty, I completely agree with you. It's like those are the things that I thought that they would have learned from Colorado differently. Like even I see people like advocating for mushrooms right now, and I'm like, why are you guys doing this? Like if I could go back in time and vote against recreational, I would. And like, and it sucks because there is a lot of people that like couldn't get their card or like these circumstances. I don't know. But if we dialed in the medical scene and put our efforts there, is it's such a better system. It produced better quality. It kept grows smaller. It kept it, I don't know, it kept it like the market was so different because like certain people grew these strains, other people grew these strains. Like there wasn't so much like blurred everywhere. You didn't go into a store and see 5 of the same strain from 5 different companies. Like that was not a thing that people were even like, I don't think that they did it intentionally, but like they like wouldn't share cuts and they wouldn't do these things. And it honestly made for a better industry, a better market for all of us. It gave you opportunities to stand out, obviously quality, but yeah, I don't know. I think that if they keep pushing for like these stores, it's like every time that something like this gets passed is like they have to have regulations to control it, right? It's like every time that a state legalizes, is they're going to start, that means that state can implement a DUI now for cannabis. It's like there's these things that people aren't realizing. Is like the more that you're pushing like for these things to get I don't know, to get passed and whatnot, is like the more you're making it where these people are gonna have, I mean the government obviously is not only gonna make money off of it, but they have to have like direct repercussions for people driving under the influence then using this substance before they legalize it or before they pass these things. So it's like, and state regulation has to be like the state has to have purchased a BioTrack plan or a metric plan or whatever, this plant to tag tracking system before they can implement it. And it's like people don't realize that when you're actually doing this and like it's no harm, you know? It's like everybody wants weed for everyone, but I feel like it was so much more protected. It protected you more, I think, ironically enough, being medical card holders than recreational cannabis now. Is like, I think that they didn't have the capability of just searching your car from stereotyping you. Or you could go in and, like I said, the stores were more sustainable. The quality, like the cures were better. Like all the things that mattered have mattered. And the tax point of your medical card in Colorado is 7, I think it might be 8%. And the other side is 30. So it's like recreational is 30% here. And it's like you're going in, you're basically paying for, say, a joint in tax. And it's like, I get that we have to pay tax to participate and all these things, but it's like medical is just so much better. I wish that we could advocate for people to go get their red cards and like spike that market again here in Colorado. And I hope for these other states that are going into legislation changes and like legalization is I hope for them that they actually do bring these things up. Go to the meetings, like stand up for these things as far as like you have to protect yourself. It's like I did get a DUI when I was like 21 leaving a grow that I was a manager of like after a harvest and like I reeked like weed and like I didn't smoke weed and it's funny but that's why I just whatever now but like I feel like I had my badge, I had my red card, I lived in Colorado, like I proved everything, didn't have anything illegal, like wasn't doing anything, like got pulled over for my headlight being out and it's like I feel like they were able to give me a DUI by checking my blood, finding out that I came below the 5 nanogram limit and they said that they were setting an example of me because I worked in the industry. And it's like, it's funny, but I think that people gotta like be careful. Just be careful when we're looking at these states, like, and what you should be voting on and what you should be, I don't know, paying attention to is like, look at the fine print because I feel like if you gotta keep it hush hush, like that we like take mushrooms or like smoke a joint, like who the hell cares? Like keep it quiet then, maybe if that protects you more. Because I feel like Colorado, we're just like, here, this is everything that we do. And what are our repercussions for it? And they have them. We have the MED here. We have this tracking system forever now. We have the parts per billion testing. Now they're finally going back to parts per million. It's the best news I've ever heard. And I feel like there's all, I don't know, there's just so much that goes into it for them gaining, I'm saying, versus like the actual cultivators and breeders and retail store holders. Like, just be careful as you guys are legalizing in your state is throw some fits, bring attention to things that I think the other states and ourselves did not. They're closing all the unlicensed shops in New York now with raids. They have the Office of Cannabis Management, OCM, back to the underground. Oh, see, I think that, I don't know, I think that goes both ways. It's like, it's weird because I obviously dabble with sides of, I don't know, but I think that it's not cool if you're paying for all this money to get a retail license and then you just got a bodega that you're competing with 10 bodegas down the street. I don't think that's cool. It's not cool when you're paying like Colorado, you have to pay $1 million to whatever, like up to get a license for a retail store. So it's like, if somebody was just like illegally selling weed across the street from me and they didn't get in trouble, I'd be kind of pissed. It's not that I would like do anything. It's not that I would like whatever, but I'd be kind of like, why did I pay for this? Like, why do we just all not pay for this? Once again, then I would go back to that mindset. But I feel like maybe like, can't you just like cover it up as like something like a, you know, a clothing store or like, I don't know, a CD store or like, I don't know, some other store though. So I guess if you want to do it, you're going to find a way to do it. But I remember I was just talking to a friend about how we both worked in the industry when Colorado got raided. Like both his grow and my grow both had grows get raided next door to them. And like I'm talking to these guys coming in with like the feds, the MED, like everybody that could be there, but like semi trucks, you know, like semi trucks harvesting these people's weed down, just throwing all this shit in there, like super weird. And we thought we were gonna get in trouble, like everybody did. Like it was just like weird, and they came in hot, and I don't know. So I wonder if it kind of has that same vibe, like that same feeling. Do you know anybody that has had that happen yet? Or like, I don't know. I have some people out there that are working on the retail license, and to be honest, I think Treat's gonna be out there like pretty soon. It's like I'm pretty excited actually, as I'm doing a special drop for New York, and it is going to be an extended cure time and extended flower times, all of the extended things is yeah, and I want people to honestly, like, this is like the funny part to growing, I think, is like you can think whatever you want about your own cannabis, but it's like it's super cool when like people either love it or hate it. Like both are like I don't know. I feel like it's just super cool to see everybody's true opinion. So I'm hoping that if you are on the East Coast side, you get ready this fall. It's gonna be good. The Astro Club, have you been out there? Test Dogs is, I'm not sure if you visited them. I'm really excited. They're going to be coming on the show. And I think that it's going to be cool just to talk about like that market of like, that's what everybody's dream, I think, is to be in, is like that connoisseur niche where everybody is paying premium for your stuff. And that's all they want. But I think the more that we get this, like, I don't know, supported as a whole, as like an industry standard, I think it's just going to be fantastic. I have tiki strains going now. They're always fire. Yes. Oh, Bodhi offering. That's really nice. Goji OG. Aw. Bodhi. It's funny because there's two Bodhis. Is one that, like cherry wine, CBD side, more hemp, is like Crush the Game. He's really good friends with Harry Palm. Sorry. I think they've done some things together. And then, I don't know. Once again, where I was going. Bodhi's OG is quite well known. Been around for years. Yeah, I think it's like kind of coming back to me, honestly. Is like when I worked at Harmony, it was 2017. And I don't think Dank by Pink had it when I was there. And I was trying to like really, it's like, I remember seeing her. And I remember like the tags and like, you know, but I hate to say this, but when I have to see a different one. I have to see yours. Is because if I can't really remember, I think I vaguely remember. Okay, I can't say I don't remember anything, but it didn't stand out to me all the way. But when I look back at like certain times in working with these strains and stuff like that, is they're battling some other stuff. And like sometimes I don't get to see them ran again or like finish out completely healthy unless like I'm taking it and I don't know, it's like a whole commitment. So yeah, I'd love to see yours because I didn't smoke it. I'll go on a mission to get Goji flower. Perform. They weren't supposed to be sexy. They just had to perform. That's hilarious. It's so true. AJ Sour Diesel puts out the weight. Yes. Let's see. Tutti Frutti Pretty Leaf, and the kind that has the pink and purple leaves. Beautiful to grow. Stony to smoke. Yes, Michelle. You are right. I love those like lavender. Even Harry Palm's cut of the Tropicana was like more pink and like light purples like that than when everybody else was like growing phenos of the Trop. It's kind of like the candy fumes. It's like, it's weird, but when you see like how different phenos are being promoted than like the breeder's cuts, like I don't know. It's not like saying one is like necessarily even better than the other. It's like, it's just, I like to run the breeder's cuts because it is their pick, but like it just makes me feel good if that's what they were looking for. Like if that's what it makes it feel like there's like a piece of them in the puzzle. It's more personal to me. You care more about the plant or something. Let's see. Back up to $1,600 a pound was under 1,000 8 months ago. Yeah. Yes, bud. Thank you. You're exactly right. It was like pretty sad to see this last year how bad it was tanking, but I do think you're right. I do think it's coming up, and I think it's going to be an exciting fall, at least before October, but we'll see how October goes this year too. California always dictated that market for us. I hear the traditional market here in California is doing quite well. Well, that is like fantastic. Is everybody getting out of this like shenanigans? Diatomaceous earth may help. See, I love it. Pretty sure there's a commercial price and there's a craft small price, batch price, and two have nothing to do with each other. Well, yeah, it's like, okay, so let's do this. So I feel like the commercial price, right, is like, it changes and fluctuates pretty tremendously compared to whatever the traditional market as well. But like if you look at it commercially, is they have shitty quality for $200 a pound here, commercial, right? And how they choose to sell it on their shelf, we don't know. Is like, I'm saying everybody does this differently. Is somebody will take that $200 pound wholesale and they'll sell it for really cheap, right? And it won't be expensive and it won't be packaged expensive. But sometimes companies will take that $200 pound and go put it in a fancy jar and call it in-house. to whatever their dispensary is or whatever their brand is, and they will sell it for $40 an eighth. And so I don't know. It's weird because the craft brands here is there's probably 710. I would say is definitely like Colorado's most expensive brand on the shelf. Like Green Dot is right next to it. And it's funny because they're both like hash people. Like, like they were MIPS before they were ever grows. It's just funny to think about. And they're like the most in demand flower. But both of them started like small, and it was craft. Like I'm saying, like in all those ways. But then it's funny that some of the other people that hang on that top shelf, like I wouldn't say that it's better quality. It's just, it gets weird because I think wholesale for a connoisseur jar of like fire stuff's average between these companies is about $25 a jar. So I think, and they're not buying a pound at that price. They're buying, say, a quarter pound. And that's if you're like good and they're good. Like for this bougier jar, right? And like what they think they can actually move. But people will seek out that $200 pound all day long and go sell it for, like I said, $25 to $35 an eighth. And so I think that, yeah, I guess there is like multiple different markets and multiple different tiers. I definitely agree with you, but it's also weird that it's not like as transparently straightforward as that sounds, though. It's like these growers aren't the ones making more money. It's really the stores winning no matter what. And they're usually the ones that are the reason that the price per pound gets so low. It's like you'll come in and go to sell them something, say that you're like, this is fire, and it cost me over $1,000 to produce. And like with my payroll and my testing and my trimming and all these things, right? And it'll be beautiful. You'll be so proud of this product. And they'll be like, no. And I'm just saying for like normal customers across the board is like, they'll try to talk you down from like $1,000 to $400 or $300. And then, like I said, they're still making 36 or $4,000 off of the pound or whatever, but it's under a completely different brand than the person that's actually cultivating it. It's just interesting. Oh, hello, lovely. I'm so happy to see you. Love Pink. So much love. Thank you. I don't know. What do you guys think, though? I just think it's sad. I do agree with you. I think that you can still get two for really standout stuff. No problem here right now. But the times that like you got a small group of people that can actually sell their stuff for, say, double or triple what the market's actually like paying for the best stuff, is like, that's when you're doing good. But it's hard. That's hard out here. Yeah. Earwigs eat aphids. Yes, you're right. You are right. It's just bad when they start eating the plant. It's like almost the point where you're like, I wish I had aphids. Just kidding. No, I've never wished for that. Nope. It's funny with the testing that we're doing on this HLVD and Fusarium and stuff, is the way that it works is well, we won't go into it all the way, but it's just making a lot of copies of, this virus. And so like, if you were to like take this little vial and to all the people that you didn't like and just go like vial, throw it in like their room, just one vial, and they just immediately have HLVD over everything. That's like mean. It's like the meanest thing you could do to somebody, but that is immediately what I was like, dude, where are you disposing these? Like, it's like, it's gotta be, I'm just kidding. You gotta throw it in bleach, which is amazing, but that bleach is just the winner for killing everything, but it does. It does. I got clover instead of grass yard. Oh my goodness, so jealous. Lots of berries and flowers. Got rainbow that the dragonflies love. So they nuke the skeeters. I got praying mantis. So happy I got babies in the yard. See, that's the stuff that is so difficult to me. It's like when you're really like trying to target something. That's why like outdoors is so different. I mean, obviously, but it's so different when treating pests because you got so many other things that you don't want to harm. And I feel like indoors is like you don't want to harm the people, right? But I feel like you don't have the same it's hard to have obviously an ecosystem balanced inside, especially commercially, I think. You can, but I just think it's more difficult. But outside, yeah, you're like, how do I treat the freaking wasp and the mosquitoes without hurting my little bunnies? Um, let's see. Green bananas, ew. That's funny. Um, I have so many packs. Buying any more would be like stuffing my face until I feel sick. Oh my gosh, I know. I know everybody's starting to feel like that. Rusty, I don't understand why people partnered with investors to scale. 1,000 lights probably doesn't make more than 10 lights. Yeah, I love that, you guys. You know, it's weird because I think everybody was chasing this like dream, and like it's weird to say this, but I feel like we had like some bad influence on each other. Is like, I think age, and because it was illegal and because it was all these things, is like, I think it was the most exciting thing to take a concept of like, I hear people do it all the time. They're like, I'm going to take a 4x8 tray and I'm just going to times it by blah, 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 the square footage of this room. And this is all going to be the same. And it's like, that is like when they're doing these calculations, we'll be able to pull 100 pounds a month or whatever. And it's like, those were the problems, just like you're saying. It's like, you can't give somebody so much square footage that they can, again, like we said, control the market, like on how much they actually can produce, or honestly just dropping the quality standard. Is like, if you even have quality leaking into the market, that's like a little where it's out of balance, you know, is like good versus bad, is like, it does have that effect as well. Is like, that guy's usually the guy that cuts corners everywhere, and like he'll find a way to be a dirty hustler and get like the sale that one time out of everybody. But like the damage that does during that time period to a market is like very unfortunate. But I think that I just remember like how much pressure was like, even with Scott, when like Rare Dignus, when Scott was actually doing like the build out, is I got to see it from, you know, like concrete walls, zero, nothing in the building, to finish and completed operating. And it was like mind blowing to see these guys. Gavita, like Rare Dignus was the first commercial grow that they had ever done. And they were putting, it was funny, like Scott and I walked into the veg room the first time when all the lights just got hung, and it was like hilarious. It's like there was lights above the doors, like the like lights above like the rolling benches, like gaps, say, like between the tray, like it was like anywhere that they could have put a light, like they put a light. And it was like at the end of it, like Scott had to pull down, like, I don't know, there was like hundreds of extra lights. And it's just like, it's strange to me that was like, that was the dream though, was like producing this scale. And I don't think it was with ill intentions or anything. And now I think it's funny, but I bet if you were to ask Scott or like talk to any of us that have like started in the industry in 2009 or the beginning, whatever you want to call it, to now, is like working at all these different facilities, remodeling all these different facilities. Like, it's so weird that that this is where we're all left, is like after all these investments, like you said, within like all these investors have accepted like losing their money, it seems like. Or when everybody used to flex back in the day and act like they didn't have investors, or they did think that they had the best investor, and that it's just like irritating now when I see people come to me and they're like, oh, I got $10 million in capital, right? Like, or whatever it is. And they're like, Jay, I'm going to start this project and I want to hire you, and I think this would be awesome. Is like, it's weird, but those are the times that like I have to stop and pause and be like, if somebody handed you $10 million for reals and said, can you pay this back? No matter what you were investing into. Like, it's crazy to me that these people were willing to take people's money up to these totals or more, and like, and not genuinely feel like they could ever pay it back. Like, I don't know, or like go delinquent on their taxes, or go, it's amazing how many companies are for sale in Colorado even, like, that are delinquent in their taxes. And like, you'll find out that they have over $1 million or $2 million in just back taxes before you even look at the sale or purchase of their license. And it was all these big boys. It was all these big boys. So they took the license count, though, right? The actual count away. There was a moratorium, which is like a hold on the licenses for years in the state of Colorado. There basically still is. And still you have like social equity license, which is a joke, but you can use that to go find a new zoned location if you can find it. That's like the hilarious part is everybody found every spot they could and then got grandfathered in. So when those guys came in and purchased like 17 grows at a time or 14 stores at a time or whatever was going on, is it's like they totally wrecked it. There was so many companies that I've even worked with that have owned like huge chains, I'm saying multiple huge chains, and they're all under this parent company that nobody would have any idea. And like all the cannabis was coming from the same warehouses and distributed to these different brands. And it's like, that's the shit that ruins markets. That's the stuff that I wish and hope that like New York, Michigan, Florida, all these states like could look at Oregon and California and us. And even when they start implementing testing and like these requirements, I'm all for healthy product. That is like my number one important thing, healthy product for the consumer. But I think some of this stuff is just for making money, like, you know, and I think that you guys just got to be particular. And I think just like what we're talking about, the light counts, the scales, the sizes, like you don't want huge. Like it's so funny, but if I was to like talk to anybody for reals, like you don't want big anymore. It's like you want your overhead and quality. You want your spaces. Like it's funny. If I was to go back in time, I would never buy a commercial facility that was like one building. It's like I would go buy one or rent a small place that would be where I had my clones and moms quarantined. And then I had my facility like, you know, a reasonable distance away, say 15 minutes. But I wouldn't want them to be neighbors. I wouldn't want anything. Is I want to be able to isolate my mother room and my clones for my commercial grow separately, completely separate, instead of having a building that's 20,000 square foot and putting all these things in. I'd rather have 3 buildings that had it where nothing, if something was to get infected, it wouldn't affect all of these other things and put all these other crops at risk. I think that's a lot of things that these owners regret. Even is like these huge investments. They never planned on aphids taking out their crop. They never planned on Fusarium killing their room at week 7 in 3 days. Like those were the obstacles that nobody ever saw coming. And I think that a lot of those people are left like losing that money. I've heard like people upwards of like $17 million, $23 million that they've invested in these chains and companies in Colorado, and they're losing everything, filing bankruptcy, going out of business. And it's like, I don't know. I hate to say it, but that's exactly what we need. It's like those people to go away and go back to a mom and pop concept. And your cost for production, and this has nothing to do with quality. This is where people are mistaken. Is like your quality, or these should never correlate the same. It's like you need your cost to be manageable, whether it's at your house or not, to where you do have a fluctuating market that doesn't affect you, that it doesn't take you out when this happens. Like, and you can stay strong with your pricing. Like when the market does tank, you can be like, F you guys. Let's see. Fungi, perfect. See, Michelle, I love that. Yeah, the mushrooms, it's really cool that they are really good for inoculating like heavy metals and stuff. I think that it's cool, Michelle, to see that you actually like grow fully organically like this, and you work with like your living beds. And I don't know. I don't want anybody to be mistaken when I talk about all these other things with hydro and rock wool and whatnot. Is I still will always love soil and living soil, and how you can, treat organically over the other side. I don't get the love of the banana terp profile. Stick with the banana in a lunchbox with cannabis and banana terps. It's funny, is I did do a breeding project with Banana Laffy Taffy, which is a pheno of Straw Nana from DNA, and I named it. So it's not the Banana Laffy Taffy that that's not a strain that they did, but it's a Straw Nana pheno, and it was so like Banana Laffy Taffy tasting for reals, and it's like so sweet, and it's not like Banana OG. It doesn't really pull that side as heavy. It was just so sweet that I couldn't resist. But I'm a banana girl though. Like that's the problem, is I am a banana girl, and Boo Kush is like my favorite strain of all time, and my little breeding boss baby. And I think the two of them together, it does take away that like overwhelming or like dominating banana flavor. I think anything like that, I think is too much with any berries or just any of that personally. But the blue balances are at nice. You guys should try it. I've got a couple of seed packs left. I feel like these are the last ones though. It's been, I can't wait to do, I'm going to start another project, but we got to get through these. There's a pheno hunt right now that we're working on. I'll tell you guys more about it next week. I have to ask the breeders is if we can release it yet, but it's pretty awesome. They're getting ready to go into flower in a couple weeks. Not even a couple weeks, like a week. And I cannot wait. Simply supply and demand, and the fact that if you can't go to jail for growing it, you can't expect to get paid like that. That's a good point. Yeah. Legality is prohibition 2.0. No, they really don't. It's tomatoes. If you sold the plant to the government to stay out of jail, these are hilarious, but you're right. I feel, yeah. Wait till you get cross state. There will be booth everywhere. Oh my gosh, yes. Trust me. It's like sad though. It's like sad that it's weird like that though. Like I mean, like I feel like everybody wants to grow really fire weed, so nobody's like I'm gonna grow this shit really fast. But it's just like weird. Why? Oh, let me see. Oh, sorry. Why? I wanted to make sure like it saw it right. That's so nice of you. I hope why that you hear this part because we really appreciate you, and I hope to see you on the next treat show. I just got a cutting of apples and bananas. I used to love that strain when I had it. I got a new apples cross. I can't even remember. I'll tell you guys about it soon. I have a whole different strain list of like 20 or 30 different strains that you guys don't know about yet that I think are nice. There's a lot of old school stuff in them. Feds cannot regulate cannabis. They can only change its position on the schedule and decriminalize what they criminalize. Bill of Rights says they cannot regulate it. Yeah, that's true. It's weird if you look back at, I think it was the raids happened in 2012, if I'm remembering correctly, maybe 2011, honestly. I'll pull them up and see. It's like it was such a squirrely time in Colorado at that point in time. I cannot even describe to you how small the industry actually was. There was maybe 500 people, maybe, that like you didn't have a badge. You had your badge paperwork maybe at best on the wall at that point. There was no MED. And the business license, it was kind of like what's happening in New York as they slowly implemented that. I guess from like 2010 to 2011, they started like enforcing all this shit, but it wasn't until 2012 that they really, I don't know. And then retail and rec didn't happen until 2014. And if you think about it, that gap in between though, I remember like we couldn't post on Instagram. I look back and I'm all like TO'd because I'm like, God, I could have been Instagram famous. Like it's not true, but I feel like because we were like, you just couldn't talk about it. It was such a secret, even in Colorado. That's the part that nobody also talks about is when the first group of people that were really growing. And when I say commercially, even that was different. Like say you had 3,500 square foot to 5,000. That was massive then. Massive. Like you felt like you were doing all of the illegal things and you felt like it was not cool. And it was kind of like sketchy because you were like selling as a caregiver to the stores, like, and like just a completely different arrangement. And there was gray areas all over the place. Like because there was no MED, say, they would say that you couldn't take product off site, right? There was a rule that you couldn't take product off site. It didn't matter what you were doing, throwing it away, selling it, doing whatever. You were allowed to grow it in the building, but you couldn't take it out. Stuff like that, where you were like, oh, okay, sweet. And so none of us like had Instagrams, none of us had social medias, like even like, I don't know, Facebook like would have been popular at the time, LinkedIn, I don't know. But I feel like nobody posted. Nobody posted. And nobody talked about it. It's like, it was kind of like that small group, that small area. That's why 710 and Green Dot, like we were all in 14ers, all those companies, like Green is Green is like, that was where 710 started first. And like, we were all super tight. It was such a small group. And like, those were the only people that you could really talk to, you know, about weed. But then it's like, it got so big, then it got so small again. It's just weird. This is why they don't care federally. There's no cash in decrim. Yeah, see, I feel like it's weird, but I knew the second that the CAPA plans, that's a corrective and preventative action plan. I knew that my attorney asked me to write these for the state and to write the first example of one. And it's weird is because it's like going through things like plant tags and like if your trash got broken into and like just like what are the possibilities of something bad happening and how are we going to fix it and how are we going to prevent it? And it's weird because there's a certain structure into how you have to write these, and there's like a certain page count. Like, oh, it's just ridiculous, like ridiculous. And so when I saw that being implemented is like usually that only happens with federally like regulated businesses. Is like this is, I don't know. It's kind of complicated and weird to say, but like those are the things that like protocols that, like I said, like an oil rig or like OSHA, like certified companies, like all of these, that's the format that they go off of. And that, so I don't know. I feel like we just all know it's coming now. And because this is the first year they're enforcing that in Colorado, it's like, I'm like, here we go. Canada DUI laws got way worse after legalization. See, that's the shit I'm talking about. That's the stuff that like I can't even go to Canada. Think about that. And like I feel like those are the things that like whether people like are like, oh, she did it or they didn't do it, or these people, it's like you never know. Like an officer, I hate to say it, but it gives them the freedom to be able to just say that they smell weed in your car, or just to look at you and stereotype you and be able to take your blood, and you'll always test with some type of level in your blood if you're a smoker, obviously. And it's not saying that you'll be above the 5 nanograms, but they say it's extremely unlikely. And they say the reason that it's not passed or wasn't passed previously is because you would always test above a 5 nanogram reading if you were a regular smoker or consumer, should I say. And so I just feel like it just pisses me off that I've had situations that I've been completely sober, obviously. And like, even after that, I'm like probation, or I call it prohibition, but probation, where like a cop stopped me and it was the same thing. I was leaving a grow and it was another harvest day. And like, you just smell strong. I'm not going to be mad at the cop for like, yes, I smell like weed, but it's like, I feel like there's just that hard part where like the second that they see your badge or the second that they see your red card, it's almost like they stereotype you the opposite. Like where you're thinking it's going to help you, it's almost like they're like, no, that means that you definitely have some shenanigans going on. So yeah, I feel like they need to be careful with that. I don't think they should have that right to like, but I don't know. That's like the same as driving on pills or something. I don't even know. Let's see. I interviewed Swami today. Oh, that's awesome. How was that? I would love to see. I can't wait to see, should I say. If you snag a weed charge nowadays, you were slinging. Or there was a domestic disturbance call and wow, you have have plans. That's actually, Rusty, that happens to, I'm so glad that you said that and touched on that. That is how a lot of people get in trouble here. Sorry, my nose has been tickling this whole show. It's so true. It takes like one person. I know that that's not just happened here. It's like I hear it all the time in the industry, actually. It's like dating or just something goes awry, or like a friend gets pissed off and like does it. It's like, it's unfortunate, but yeah. Let's see. Sorry. I guarantee they're not wasting money on drug enforcement, police stuff. It prohibits too many legal states and gray areas. Yeah, you're right. Rusty, you're smart though. You're like, it'd be cool if we could pull up some stuff. Not this show, obviously, but like regarding what you're saying, because I don't know, it's interesting though. That's so nice. Special to the D. Thank you so much. It's so freaking nice of you. Thank you for for keeping me up, for doing this, for listening. So much love back to you. Jay, your online consulting for home grow. Would you say that most things can be knocked out in an hour for your service? I know it depends on what it is, but are most who ask the newer grower types? Someone please send a clone to Minnesota for me. Thanks. Oh, sorry, those aren't together. I apologize. Yeah, Noel. So I'm so glad. Thank you for asking that question. I'm gonna be honest. Is like for a home grow, is we could come up with a plan in an hour. I mean, we could, and like no matter what you're working with, like we'll be able to fix it. And the hard part though that like sucks with this stuff is like I'm gonna be honest with you, is I get guarded with my like paperwork and stuff because so many people, and I know that you know this, like I'm saying all of you guys are knowledgeable and like really into this as well. So it's like I know that you have certain things that you wish like maybe along your journey didn't get taken from you, or like it's just like miscredited, or I don't know how to describe it, but I get sensitive sometimes with like people just being like, give me all your answers, give me all your information, I'm gonna copy it, say it's mine, and give it to everybody. It's like that's where it gets like a little sensitive. But I feel like if we could go through and like cover like target pests, like what you could, or I'm saying this hypothetically, if you're dealing with something particularly, or you got a whole package of issues, it's like we can break it down. I'd say an hour is like actually probably too long, or I mean too short to like do all of it. I feel like we could do it all in 2 hours, because I do like an hour to like go through everything, see what we're working with, and then come up with a solution, talk about it. And even like really competent growers, and like, and I know you guys are, is like, I think there's certain things though that you're like, if somebody shows you something one time or tells you something versus like does show you, is I think that's where it gets hard for me, is like to know, is like that's where these variations of time could change. But I'm gonna say, like, I'm not a dirty hustler, and if I think that we could do something in 5 hours, and I think that you really mean it, and you'll keep our information tight, and we respect each other, and all these things, is like I'll charge somebody for 2 hours of time. And I feel like, and really make sure, or like leave it where you can call me and we can have more of an open relationship, where if you need something for a couple minutes, or like, I don't know, or if you need help for whatever reason, is like, it's not just like ghosting people. It's like, I think that's what's important to me, is like, I want to help you as much as I possibly can in as short a time as possible. And I'm not saying rushing you and being like, is like the opposite. Is like, I want to make it worth your time and your budget. I'm not trying to like break anybody's bank. It's like, if you guys really are battling anything, or if you really do want to work together on some things, don't ever hesitate, no matter what your budget is, to like hit me up, and I'll even say it after our meeting. And like, I mean, really transparently and really honestly, is like, this is how much I could do this, or this is how little of time we could invest to this, or this is the most time that I could see us going down. Yeah, and we can break it up. It's the same thing. We can break these things up into phases as well. It's like, sometimes people don't need help for like, the full hour even. It's like, if I have to show you how to clone really, I'm just using all these as examples. It's like, show you how to clone really fast and treat your clones. It's like, maybe that takes 15 minutes. And so it's like, you can still have your 45-minute block broken up as well. The pricing, I charge people different prices though. I will be honest about that. It's like every grow, and when I say that, it's like most home grows, it's like $100. Like I'll do a flat little shebang, whatever. But commercial grows is like, obviously it's just different. And it is because it takes more time and it's just different. But I feel like if you guys have a reasonably sized grow, or it's like a home grow, like, yeah, we can do it. We can do it on a budget. Or any budget, I mean. Good Sour and OG is going for 4K again. Yeah, see, that is what's up. God, you just gave me goosebumps. That's what I'm talking about. That's what this is gonna come back with people that really are demanding quality, and like all of that stuff is like, this is gonna be the thing that makes it happen. Is like, I genuinely mean it. If we like band together, and I think it's gonna cut itself back to being such a small group of people that genuinely are like the people that originally cared and like stuck it out through all these fluctuations in the market. I think it's gonna really bring its reward. The big companies and all these other guys, I don't think they're interested the way that they used to be. So this could be awesome. Just uncertain dank old cuts like Sour Dub, Sour King Louis. Oh, see, TK headband. That's so funny. I used to have all of these strains. It's just like doesn't matter, but that's what it makes you feel like. I did give 14ers OG18, and I think the Louis, if anybody's in Boulder, you can try it there. I know they still run it. It's nice. Let's see. I live in Florida markets. Okay, sorry. Target NYC in Florida markets. Yes. Not the dispo mass-produced craft weed. I mean the guys with 20 lighters and only sell to people that they know. Oh, that's nice, Rusty. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about like the big. I thought you were talking about that. No, I think it's awesome if you have the dude that you're supporting down the street, or your homie, or whoever that you think is really growing the best and charges you well. And I don't know. I think that's cool too. I think I'm saying we gotta have it all. I think it's important to have it all, and I think that it's important to have both sides. And I don't know, make it work. I just need to give up on this. Sorry. I keep trying to smoke it. And nope. But some Bob-ass indoor OG Kush is hard to beat. I love outdoor too. It had such a good flavor. Such a good flavor. Let's see. Oh, bug and salt gun works well. For killing mosquitoes. That's hilarious. I love those things. Legal grows are the running joke around my circle. Yeah, I feel that. I just think it goes both ways. I hate to say this, where I think we need some of this. I think we do. Like, I'm saying for the people and like, I can't say younger individuals, but like that are really having medical issues and can't get access to things. I think that was like something that I saw more medical patients on the retail side than I ever saw on the medical side. I saw more hustlers on the medical side, and then as soon as it legalized to recreational, it's like I saw these people coming in and asking about cancer and asking about younger things and people, and I feel like how they could use these products to really like heal and help themselves, like going through shit. So I feel like it's kind of like important that we also have that accessibility to products and like the opportunity to brand and like, I guess on a storefront, but it would be way better if it was like delivery and like old school medical days as well, where like you have to have a red card and your caregiver and all that stuff. That was a great system. Home growers worrying about plant counts must be growing outside with the cop living next door. Yeah, that's true. Rockwool and hydro stuff is commercial. People doing it at home are mostly ones that learned what they could on YouTube. Then you have all that damn equipment. That's hilarious. I feel like, yeah, you guys obviously know I love Rockwool, so I can't. Dirt. But I do see what you're saying. I see a lot of like not good. Yeah, not good at that side. Don't worry, JLo. We'll bring you to the organic side. It's so funny. You know, I think it's hilarious because people think I don't grow organically, though. It's like I used to only grow organically before hydro, and I used to hate hydro. Used to hate salt. Used to hate all that shit. And like, I honestly have spent most of my career growing with living beds and organically than anything else. Like, and I do have different IPM treatments for those people that do want something completely organic, and like people that are combating like actual viruses and diseases, and they do need a little pep in the step. But it's weird because I admire them both. It's like I run split in my grow. When I'm actually flowering though, it's like I do it both at the same time. It's like I like certain strains in soil. I just really do. And I like them to be fed differently. Not even like not with salts, but like I'm saying I like them to be fed differently, and with compost teas and like different like beneficials I still use with my system of Rockwool and hydro is like I do a dual system even with that. Is they're sterile for weeks at a time, and then they also get inoculated with beneficials. And I don't know. I just love them both. I got to be honest, but I feel like I've given the wrong message because a lot of people think I don't like soil. And like, if you guys saw how much I love plants, like, I have beds at my house that I have invested so much money into. Oh, like every birthday or everything that you're like, I am splurging on this today. Those have been in my beds, and they're fully organic. But I just like admire the side to hydro that it's weird, but I've seen plants just like flourish and never the same in soil. And I hate to say that too, but I've just seen them offer really beautiful things, both of them. I heard running to Canada and bringing back 55-gallon drums of maple syrup in packs. Oh, packing it in a similar containers in the U.S. can be very lucrative. That's nice. Yeah, I saw, who is a girl that you guys all love? Jane Doe. She's always like naked, chilling with weed. I can't remember. I think it's Jane Doe. She she was showing me that her maple syrup, actually, she's doing something cool with like, yeah. You guys should, sorry, I'm like trying to multitask read. Agreed. That's so nice. I don't know if you saw my comment before, but I use cedar wood oil concentrate to keep ticks, mosquitoes, bugs away outdoors in Connecticut. Thank you, Loud Pack. I'm screenshotting that. Thank you so much. I'm going to try that. I haven't tried that yet. Where's the syrup, eh? That's funny. Smuggling syrup. This is hilarious. See, this is the perfect group. Word up, Ed is cool. Big respect to you, kid. Special E to the D was here. That's funny. I love it. Trying to go up, make sure I didn't miss anything. Just peachy. Estoy bien. Let's see. I'm sorry, guys. Don't buy maple syrup from somebody's truck. The fake stuff blows. This is hilarious. So the maple syrup, doesn't Bloom have a maple syrup drop? I feel like they have one that's crossed with the maple syrup. I don't know if you guys have heard anything about that strain, but it's fire. I got some seeds. I don't have his cut of that, but I want it. You guys let me know what you think though. Man, the chat was amazing tonight. You guys are phenomenal. Yes. Cheers everyone to you guys. Okay, I'm gonna try to behave for the rest of the night and try to get out of here. I don't know. I was gonna smoke the rest of the blunt with you guys, but obviously failed at that. But I can't wait to see you next week. So we do have a guest coming on. I'm not gonna tell you who the guest is. It's actually very exciting. And I think that we are going to be rolling from here on out. And then also, there was such good feedback. I'm so sorry. I can't remember off the top of my... I'll read you. I took 2 screenshots of this really awesome comment and this really shitty comment that somebody said. And I do appreciate them. Not equally. I just want to see if I have it because it was so nice. Let me see. Sorry, guys. Okay. Nope. Can't find it now. See, this is what happens when you try to show anybody anything on your phone. Let me see if it's down here. Dang. This is extremely disappointing. Let me see. Here we go. Nope. Here we go. This one, should I not read it? Should I read it? I wish my happy one was next to it. Maybe it's this one. Okay. This one was... Okay. Enjoyed her on the Adam Dunn show. But her solo venture is what happens when a pretty girl thinks she can just show up and thinks it's quality content. This show is lazy. The fact that everyone keeps bailing on her is an indicator of how much respect they have for her. It's not on them. It's on J-Lo. This show has been a complete flop. Ah. Okay, let me show you this one though. This one was nice. Oh, no, that's a different one. I'm sorry. This was like somebody asking us to go on a different show, which I want to do as another interview. Okay, this one. This was my good one. I'm so sorry. Seriously, and then the name is blocked out? Are you freaking kidding me? You tell me in the chat right now if you can see this. I'm so sorry. But you were my favorite reply this recent week. And I want you to know that we're going to touch on all these things. So you were talking about Grow Pro Root Master pots, air pruning I start in, non-woven nursery bags, and you go into Better Than Solo Cups, start air pruning day 1, and then you talk about Azos, OG BioWar, Mega Crop, Calcium, Open Salts, oh sorry, that wasn't, Brute trash cans, Paul, Plant Dolly movers. It was just like a really nice response. You had H2O2 somewhere in there. I'm sorry guys, because it's just a little bit expanded into like, we're just going to hit on all the questions so you'll be able to see. But I wanted to say thank you so much. I'm sorry that I can't find your freaking name. It's like, I will though. And I wanted to say thank you so much for writing that and actually responding with the products that you use and like such a passionate response. I'm like, it shows a lot of you as a grower. And I thought it was amazing to see that you took the time to respond, talking about your products that you use and talking about your garden and having these questions. So we will talk about nitrates and calcium and all these different, like, if it's a risk to you, like honestly consuming as a individual, or if it's good for your plant, how this is all happening. But I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your night, and peace and love. Thank you.
Rift it on. No.